The man who is allegedly in the top spot to protect this country is doing everything in his power to not protect this country. So let's keep in mind what's going on. We'll come to Putin in a minute, but keep in mind that this is a guy who did everything he could to avoid the draft, and when his country called, and forget the right or wrongs of it, when the country called to serve in Vietnam, he did everything he could to avoid that service, just like his grandfather had done in Germany years before. Trump has been convicted of any number of fraudulent crimes. He's been convicted of sexual assault. The list goes on, and he's done nothing but to increase his net worth. Well, he's in the White House, and I read an article the other day. He's increased his net worth by about $4 billion at our expense. Meanwhile, inflation's going up, and the protections of our Constitution around the country are going down. Trump has done nothing, well, virtually nothing, to help Ukraine except and the only thing he's done is spout off the words of puppet master Adolf Putin to talk about Ukraine. If he won't protect Ukraine and won't protect our NATO allies, why do we think for a minute he would protect any other part of this country that he doesn't agree with? He's already turned down requests for aid to Maryland and California when they've had terrible storms and fires because he doesn't like the way they voted. This isn't a man who's protecting us. This is a man who's trying to destroy this country and everything it stands for. So who does he propose, and who has he gotten on the Third Circuit Court of Appeal? A guy from the Department of Justice by the name of Emil Bovey, who had told people at the Department of Justice that if the courts come down with a decision that they don't like, they could go screw themselves, using a more colorful word, if you were. He nominated and had appointed a guy named Billy Long, who was a representative, I think, from Louisiana, who'd been an auctioneer who knew nothing about the Internal Revenue Service. He was the 7th Internal Revenue Service head so far this year, and he was recently fired. He knew nothing about it, so I suppose that's a good thing he was fired, but what happened to the other 6? He's nominated a fellow named Antoni to head the Bureau of Labor Statistics. He's a recent graduate out of some business school, has published no papers, and is opposed by both liberal and conservative economists because he doesn't know anything and he's just ignorant. Then we have Pete Hegseth, a drunkard and a sexual abuser of women, and he's recently posted with approval the rantings of a Christian pastor in Idaho who thinks that women shouldn't have a right to vote and the only voting should be done by household, and that women would be required to just go along with whatever their husbands say. He says that about women, that they're just people who people come out of, if you can imagine saying something like that. Then we have, beyond that, we have Pam Bondi, as Attorney General, who took a $25,000 payment from Trump shortly before she shut down the investigation of the Florida investigation into Trump University, which was going on. Meanwhile, she had left, as I recall, $300,000 of campaign debts unpaid, even though she'd collected money for them. We also might note she's the first person not releasing the Epstein files, which they promised. We have Kash Patel, who came out of nowhere to head our leading investigative agency, the FBI, in this country. And instead of protecting people against crime and investigating crime and white-collar crime, they now have the FBI roaming the streets of D.C., and 1,000 of them were set aside to work and find out everywhere Trump's name was in the Epstein files, and obviously get rid of, excise out his name from those files. We have RFK Jr., who's a drug addict and a serial adulterer, heading up the Department of health education or health and welfare, coming up with crazy theories that vaccines, which have served us well for years, shouldn't be used, shouldn't be given to children, shouldn't be given to pregnant women. We have Kristi Noem, uh, uh, who famously killed her dog, but is sleeping with a man, not her husband, who she takes on all of her trips, and spends her life posing for pictures as if she's important and as if she is a warrior of some type. And the list the list goes on. And what we're seeing around the country and what we're seeing on Trump's foreign policy is no effort to strengthen this country, but every effort to enrich himself and strengthen Putin and probably Chairman Xi of China, because Xi is picking up the slack where we are leaving. China is filling in the void to provide food and goods to other countries and aid that we used to and develop goodwill around the world. This is meaningless to Trump. His only goodwill is dollars in the bank for him and his family, all of whom, as far as I'm concerned, might as well be a criminal enterprise.